things you can do as a man.
Exactly.
So abortion was just maybe one part of the pie.
Yeah, right. Part of right.
Yeah, it is her right. It's her body, so she can do whatever she wants to with it. So, but I think they blew that a little bit out of proportion. And kind of looked over that because I saw a lot of posts yesterday about that.
Yeah, because it's evident that a lot of women don't have abortions.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be walking around here.
Exactly.
So everybody has their own individual situation.
Everybody was out there for their own thing.
For their own thing. And I was really out there just to be out there, to see, to vibe, to, the experience. Just to see that I really was able to see that we're all different and we're all the same. We all want the same thing. We want the same. We really want the same. We want peace on earth. We want to see our children grow up and be prosperous and do bigger and better things than us.
Exactly.
And to be safe, to be confident. It's to be confident and to know that you're safe in a country that they say is the greatest country.
Even in your community.
In your community, you want to be safe, and you want to make sure you got the right people in office that's making these decisions for the community. So we want to make sure that was right there was a great opportunity, and I don't know, I'm gonna start crying, but I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that before, and it was really awesome. And I was really glad to share it with Miss Mariah because I was like, when we were parked, I was like, this is a part of history. It never really, even as we were going, I never really thought about that until we were actually down. I've never seen so many people from so many different places in the world for marching for basically one common goal. So it was an awesome experience.
And it's not just a fight for women. Actually, it's an equal fight for men to participate in, especially fathers, since we mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
Because if you have daughters, like
I
do,
definitely.
You want to make sure when they get older, and even when they are in their youth, you want to make sure that they're being treated properly, being treated fairly, and also when they become adults, they want to have fair opportunities that they can benefit from, just like males and other groups do.
Definitely. We all share the same umbrella, so that's very exciting. So Miss Marsha,
yes,
tell us about your awesome books.
Okay. Okay.
First, okay.
Let's start with Pinky.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna post Pinky. Pinky is just so cute. I want a Pinky on my bed.
You want to have Pinky?
I want to have Pinky on my bed. Nobody mess with Pinky because she's my own personal dog.
Well, guess what? Pinky sits in the back seat of my car.
Okay, Pinky.
She's always ready to go. Okay. So Pinky sits in the back seat, and let me tell you why I wrote Pinky. I wrote Pinky for my mother because my mother, she proofreads all my books. So she said, Marsha, can you write something with no cursing, sex, and violence? And I was like, well, why would I do that? Like, no. And so I was like, okay, let me write, since I'm a teacher, let's write a kid's book. So I wrote Pinky. And Pinky's about a little girl who suffers from pain. And anytime the weather changes, when it rains, her legs hurt. So she wakes up in the morning, her leg is hurting, but the sun is out. And so her grandmother told her the old wise tale that anytime, have you heard that? If your legs are bothering you, if your bones are aching, it's going to rain outside.
Oh, wow.
And so she goes to school and she tells all the kids that, and they're laughing like it's not going to rain. So all day they're searching for rain, and then they finally find it. And so she has this brace on. And so the story is about the little girl taking her pain and making it her superpower, because even though she's in so much pain, she's still looking for this rain like she knows it's going to work. So her superpower is like predicting the weather. So she's telling them that it's going to rain. And so that's what Pinky's about. And then I have 3 other adult books, and they all have their own tale. They're all very good. I'm working on one right now about runaway slaves. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Yes. This one is like way out of my category because they put me in urban fiction.
Okay.
But this is not going to go over there. It's just leaning more towards fantasy because these slaves, they have powers.
Oh, wow.
One can talk to the dead. One can see into the future. One's like a voodoo queen. They're different type of runaway slaves. They go to the Caribbean, and I'm working on that book, and I am so into this book. I have a new book that's going to come out. It's called Suspect Behavior, and that one fits kind of into the urban fiction. He just got out of prison. He's trying to reconnect with his children. But the premises of all the books, for me, my message is family,
Okay.
Family is always first. And it's just a story. You know, I love writing the story. I love hearing people talk to me about the books when they're talking about the characters. It's like they're a part of the story. You know, so I really enjoy that. So those books, I enjoy writing. I'm like a people person, so anything could pop up in the book. You know, because my imagination is just off the chain. You know, I used to get in trouble when I was a little girl because my mother would say, you know, you talk too much. Because I would talk to everybody, you know. But I'm a people person. I'm a people watcher. I watch people. I listen to them. And then I just, you know, I formulate the story in my mind and I run with it from there.
Yes.
You know, and I'm really good at it. So
I'm excited. I'm excited about the slave.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited about this book because they're runaway slaves.
Yeah.
And you know, there's some mulatto slaves in there. You know, the mistress of the house feels like she's best friends with the slave, with the Hattie Mae. The girl's name is Hattie Mae.
Yeah.
Hattie Mae doesn't feel like they're friends. You know, she's once upon a time her owner.
That sounds like a real story.
Well, no, it's all made up in my mind, but it's gonna feel real. You know, Mistress Maddie is a character of her own. Yeah. She's just like, you either gonna love her or you're gonna hate her. At times you're gonna love her because she's just like overly dramatic, Southern belle, you know, a mess. And then she's selfish and self-centered. But then at times she really is a friend to Hattie Mae. And Hattie Mae is just surviving what she's going through. So she doesn't consider her like her friend. She's just surviving. But they're really all they have.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's going to love it.
I'm loving it already.
And the story is going to take you from New Orleans to St. Lucia to Paris and back. So
wow.
So what's the significance of those geographical areas? Is it any particular significance?
Not really. You know, in the first book that I wrote, it's just some places I picked. I'm obsessed with New Orleans for some reason.
Okay.
Like obsessed. I went there. And I did all these slave plantation tours. And I had my son with me, and he was just like, no more. Like, I don't see no more. But, no, they don't have a significance. You know, it's just some places that I would like to go to. But in my first book that I wrote, in my third book, this story picks up from that book. Because in this book, the character Gypsy, I was telling her backstory to how she got like she is. Because she's kind of like she has a gift. Like, she's kind of psychic. She can see things. So I told a backstory about how she got that gift from Hattie Mae and Mistress Maddie. And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to turn this into a book. But in that story, he ran away to the Caribbean because they were free there at that time. Instead of going north, he went to the Caribbean. And so that's how we kind of got there in St. Lucia. And then the people in the book, their last name is Foray. And so I can't tell you too much because then you'll know the book, but the slave master, the slave master came from France.
I see a movie in the future.
I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with this book. Like,
you caught me already.
Yeah, and it's the book for me. It's so exciting for me to write it because I just can't stop it. I usually like do a word count and stuff.
Okay. Well, we just got notified that we have a call on the line. So, caller.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I'm doing great. Who am I speaking to?
This is hashtag Who's Carmela. Big Red from the LBC.
Carmela.
Eastside.
That's my baby. Yes.
Hi. How you doing, Carmela?
I'm good. I'm listening to the rain and stuff, and listening to you guys on the air and stuff, and listening to Miss Marsha talking about Pinky.
Yes. And Red, I want to say this to you while I have you on the air.
That my grandbaby didn't get her sentiment, but it's okay. Pinky homegirl. Pinky got a homegirl named Sentiment.
She's so messy.
You know what?
See, I was going to say how much I love you and how much you support me and how much you always down for me.
I know, but I just had to let you know that
you had to bless
Pinky
me out like on air.
Sentiment.
You know what? When I see you, I'm going to kick you in your walker. I promise you. No, I love you, Red. You know I'm going to get that for you. But I just want to say this to her while she's alive.
Okay.
She always supports me. She's always there for me. She's just a good person, and I don't have too many friends. And now I consider her as one of my friends. She's like really, I love her. Right? I love you, Red.
I've been knowing Red since I was about 10. So I've been knowing her from childhood to a grown woman to adulthood, and I love you, Red. We bump heads a lot.
I love you too. Even though she put her on punishment sometimes.
She's really like the older sister that I never had, and that's the vibe I get every time me and Red are together.
That's always putting you in your place. Look,
she's really this older sister that I've never had.
Yeah,
and that's probably why we be clashing. But I love you, Red. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, and it's not that we be clashing. It's just sometimes when you. It's like when you love somebody or you know somebody, you don't want them to go through the same mistakes that you have been through. You know, so we see things in a different eye.
So it's not personal. Looking out for me, Red. I appreciate it.
It's not personal. It's never personal.
She always looks out for me. Always.
We're going to Wig Grill after this.
Wig Grill.
Y'all going to Wood Grill after this.
I'm going to take you to Wood Grill after this.
I'm going to Golden Bird.
she GPS Golden Bird.
Also, you going to come get me and we going to Wood Grill?
You know what? I'm going to call you at 2:00.
My whole attitude just changed. Listen, but I just wanted to call in and support the show. Roshanda, give me a call at 2:00 so we can be ready to go out to eat.
No, that's right.
She done lost her train of thought.
Marsha, yes, girl. You know, we talk about food, girl. Everything goes. Marsha, I'm just happy for you and stuff like that with your books. And I might read that, but I don't know. Is those books with the runaway slaves? I don't know. I got to pray over that book because it might have a lot of spirits in it.
It does.
You'll be all right, baby.
It's gonna be all right.
But I just want to give you a shout out, and you guys, Roshanda, keep up the good work, and everybody on the show. And I just wanted to call in and support you.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
all
love
right.
you guys.
Love you.
Okay, bye.
I appreciated her conversation.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Because you very seldom find people who care beyond themselves this day and time. And whenever you have people like that in your life, you have to cherish them. You have to appreciate them. Yeah, it's a rare quality this day and time.
It really is, and thank you for calling and saying what you have to say, Miss Carmela. Okay, do we have any more callers? Okay, we're gonna go back to Marsha and let her go back into her books.
To my book. Oh, you want to talk all day about my books? Okay. Now this book here, this is my first book.
Okay,
this is called The Secrets They Kept, and it's about a lady. She's a doctor. She's a professor.
Okay.
And she's really like professional, but she runs back into her old flame.
Okay.
And he is not so professional. He's a little street, but you know, we kind of like him like that. I do. I don't know about you.
Yeah, we do. I do.
And so they hook back up. He owns a nightclub, but then they have all these secrets that keep developing and keep coming out. Everybody has secrets. Her mother, her homegirls, him. And so this book is about that. It's and then there's a point. I have this thing about going back in time.
Right.
Because I go back in time in this book, and I notice that it's the favorite part of the book. I go back in time to tell her mother's story. Because her mother is kind of mean and surly, but she's rich.
Okay.
But I go back to tell why she's like she is. And her story is kind of the most fascinating part of the book. Everybody seems to like that part. And then this book is self-explanatory.
Okay.
These are 4 bad bitches, and they grew up in the hood together.
4 of them.
And let me tell you something about my bitches.
Yeah,
they are educated.
Okay.
Well educated. They are property owners, shop owners.
Okay.
They're just a little ratchet. That's all, just a little. You know, and so they have their own story. Right. All of them intertwine in their story, and each one of them has a story to tell, and it intertwines together. And then this book here, see how my imagination is all over the place?
Yeah, it's great.
This book here, The Black Butterfly, it's about a little girl who was abandoned.
Okay.
And a FBI profile agent finds her and takes her out of the foster care system and raises her with her brother, but her brother happens to be a hitman. And so he teaches this little girl everything he knows. Wow. But he also she had like really active. Okay. So he put her in boxing lessons. So she becomes a boxing champ. Wow.